information, man, that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Bam, 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 boom, boom, boom. I appreciate the support. TBP Nation, 33 years, man. We out here 33 years. We sharing this good information, man. Trying to, you know, make a little change in this world. Make a little change in this world, man. So, appreciate everybody who rock with me, man. Everybody who tune in to whatever I do. We getting ready to turn this thing up, man. You know, half of the year's gone already, man. We getting ready to get back over there into this prison fitness workout. We getting ready to get back in that kitchen, man, and all challenges. I'm accepting all challenges, you know, and with that pure deliciousness, and we gonna make this thing, man, you know, more visible, you know, in the coming days, man. The book is coming, y'all. Stay tuned for the book. We're gonna try to get some more merch out there. You know, like I say, this is a movement, not a moment, man. This is a movement, not a moment. This is crucial information that we're giving out, man, and you know, it's helping some people, and that's the main thing. That's what we want to do, man. We want to help some people, man, and change the course of their life, man, so they won't get caught up. Cause it's a horrible life, as I've told y'all many times, man. But this one thing in particular, you know, just going over in my thought process, you know, lately something just sparked me to talk about this. This one thing in particular, for me, and maybe for a lot of others, that always, to me, just felt just like slavery, man. You know, being locked up, period. You know, being in chains, being, you know, confined, being, you know, treated the way you're treated, looked at the way you're looked at, talked to the way you're talked to. All of that has, you know, slavery written all over it, you know, and you know, as I told y'all in a video recently, I was saying about the 13th Amendment. You know, they said slavery was abolished except for if you have been, you know, convicted of a felony. So they're basically telling you that slavery is still legal if you are a felon, if you are incarcerated. So thus you will be treated as such. You dig? So, but this one in particular thing, man, just, you know, probably, you know, growing up and watching the things you watch and seeing the things you see, think about this. To me, I have, you know, transferred, man. Whenever I man, that's one of the things that I hated the most, you know, being locked up, man, was getting transferred, you know, and I hated it so much. And I had to really go into my thought process to figure out why I hated it so much. You know, it's obvious, but it wasn't obvious. You have to, you know, you have to verbalize it to understand it. You have to really look at it and talk it out to get to the root of why you didn't like it so much, besides the obvious. But, man, I disliked it so much that I could be on an institution, and I have been there for a minute, and it's not the greatest institution. It's not the preferred place to be, you know what I'm saying? You know, or you heard or thinking, you know, it might be better on another institution just due to the administration, due to how they carrying it, what's going on, whatever the case may be. And once you done settled in, I didn't even want to leave due to the fact that I didn't want to go through the transfer process, man. I didn't want to go through it. I hated going through it. I hated it. The only time that I could honestly think of that I really look forward to a transfer was leaving Wallace Ridge. Was leaving when I was willing to go through whatever to get up off of that joint. You know, to get up off of that. But other than that, man, I hated transfers. Because when you think about slavery, man, and you think about, you know, the movies and, you know, Roots and the things that you've seen, the things that have been put forth to us, the books, the pictures, the visuals, and you always see these, you know, these slaves on the boats and stuff, and they chained to the boat, you know what I'm saying? And you got, you know, the overseers, the masters, the bosses, and walking around you like you just property, man, and you in misery, and you in discomfort, and you know, you being fed whatever they want to feed you, you being talked to however they want to talk to you, being treated however they choose to treat you. You know what I'm saying? The weakest, nerdiest, corniest Bama with a gun can talk to you like you just a speck of dirt on the ground, because he has that confidence, because you chained up, you shackled up, you defenseless, you know, you in this state where you just, it's like dehumanizing, man. It's dehumanizing. And you know, you could be on there, man, you could be hungry, and they just eating all this fast food, and you can smell it, and you know, you on here, you hungry, and then they gonna end up throwing you some dry bread with a piece of old bologna on it, and a bunch of little carrots, little baby carrots, and a apple or something. Man, it's just a horrible situation, man. When you in that position, it makes you realize, man, how low your life has came, man, on this planet, man, and how much value they have placed on your life. You know what I'm saying? It's a horrible feeling, man, and I hated it, man. I hated it, man. I just, you know, just being in that position, you know what I'm saying? And that's after you own the bus. But look at the whole process before you even get on the bus. It's just, man, it's just crazy. Yeah, crazy, man. I mean, the whole process was crazy, man. You know, when you getting transferred, man, they, first and foremost, they gonna pack all your stuff up the day before that you getting transferred. They gonna let you know you getting transferred, but they gonna let you know the day before, because they gonna come pack all your stuff up. That's just to make it more convenient for them. And then they gonna come get you. They might cut your phone off, because they don't want you to call home and tell nobody you getting transferred, like somebody gonna, you know, run down on the van and break you out or something, man. And that ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That ain't never happened. Did I know dudes in this whole era ain't even built like that no more. They'll scream, "Oh, I miss my dude. Oh, that's my dude. Man, I love miss my man. I'll do anything." You ain't coming to get them. They ain't coming to get you. That's for sure. So that's dead. You know what I'm saying? This ain't back in the day, you know, when, you know, shout out to Seta Shakur, you know, they came and got her. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. But just people ain't built like that this day. But they do that anyway, just, you know, for precautions, or so they say. But then they gonna come get you up, man, about 3:30 in the morning, you know, take you over here, you know, put you in a position where you just sitting around waiting for nothing. You know, they're supposed to try to feed you breakfast, which ain't gonna be nothing but some garbage. You know what I'm saying? Probably boiled eggs, some dry bread, what do they call that stuff, man? Something butter, that brown stuff, whatever that is, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then you just sitting there, you waiting, and you know, then you gonna have to go put on handcuffs, shackles, you know what I'm saying, and then sit here and wait with all of these people, you know what I'm saying, this look like you getting ready to get on a slave ship, you know. Then they're gonna take you over there and they're gonna strip search you. They're gonna take all your clothes off, strip search you, do all of this foolishness, you understand me? Then they're gonna take and give you this little, now they start giving you this little, I don't even know what the material made of. It's like plastic, little plastic jumpsuit that you got to put on, and give you somebody else's drawers to put on, somebody else's t-shirt to put on. 2,000 people before you done already wore, you know, and give you some slippers, man, you know, and then they're going to put shackles on you, handcuff on you, and then you're going to go sit down and wait probably for another hour or two, you know what I'm saying, depending on what's going on. You know, your wrists hurting, your ankles hurting, you know, you're tired, you're basically hungry, you know, and you just sitting here with a bunch of other dudes chained up while they walking around talking and joking and chewing gum and eating food, and, you know, man, it's just God almighty, man. I hated that, man. I'm telling you, I hate it. I used to just be there just so mad, so irritated, so frustrated with this situation. And then they gonna start hurting you on the bus. All right, come on, let go. Lining up in a line, to barking orders, man. Y'all be quiet, keep on moving, stay in line, woo. You know, all of this crazy stuff. Then you get on the bus, then you sitting down on the bus, and you know, you on there sometimes, depending on what bus you got, they got the joint, they gonna chain your leg down to make sure you can't move. You know, all of this, man, and then you sit on the bus. Once you get on the bus, you're going to sit on there for about 45 minutes to an hour or even more before they even pull off. You understand? Before they even pull off, man. It's crazy, and they're not telling you where you're going yet or none of that. You don't even know where you're going. You have no idea. You know what I'm saying? So then when the bus take off, when the bus do finally take off, you know, depending on how far you going or where you going, then they gonna go to, they always gotta go to this one spot. They go to this one spot, the Powhatan, State Farm. They go there, and when they get there, then they might start calling out names, telling you where you going, because they got all these other buses in a bus cage. So they got all of these other Jones, and they gonna start calling out your name and say, boom, you going on such bus, and then that's gonna be the point where you know what penitentiary that you going to. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's going to Buckingham is getting on this bus. Everybody going to Southampton getting on this bus. Everybody going to Nottoway getting on this bus. So they're going to start separating. So then you're going to be here for about an hour or better. You know what I'm saying? Doing this transition. But then you getting off of the bus. You know, you hopping. Your ankles is hurting. Your wrist is hurting. You chained up. Then they got the porta potties out there that smell like 10,000 years of death. And that's, you got to use the bathroom. This is your only chance. You go in there, you try to use the bathroom and hold your breath at the same time. You know, you hopping around out here while they talking and lollygagging and fraternizing and all of this. And here it is, man, you chained up, you know, like a slave. You understand? Like a slave, like an animal, man. It's just dehumanizing all the way around the board, dog. It's humiliating. It's dehumanizing, man. It's you know, it's just horrible. And then, you know, you moving around, and then they over there, you see them, like I said, their whole disposition is laughing and joking, talking to these other polices that's from other institutions, whatever, and then till they talk to you, then their whole disposition change. Yeah, woo. Hey, man, come on over here. Yeah, come on, get back, y'all, to use it. All of that foolishness. You understand me? So, you know, some people, you know, depending if you going up in the mountains, man, you going on about a 12, 14-hour ride. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna make number like 1 to 2 stops at these trade over places, and that's the only chance you got to use the bathroom. You in there, if you get on the bus and then you've been riding there about 2 hours, you got to use the bathroom. You stuck. You stuck. You understand me? Unless you Mac, the Mac man going anyway. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, you stuck. And I've been in that situation before where I've been caught on the bus where I had to use the bathroom bad, man. I'm talking about till the point, man, my kidneys was hurting. And I didn't know if I was going to end up using it, you know, by you know, just by force or not. Man, but I had to hold my bathroom for hours, man, to the point where when we got to the layover, when I got a chance to get in the bathroom, use the bathroom, it was hard for me to even use the bathroom by however your bodily functions work, because I had held it so long. You know what I'm saying? Crazy situation. Then you got 10, 15 people waiting behind you. Then you got officers that's out there that's from that institution standing out there barking orders at you, trying to, you know, impose their will on you, letting you know, giving you the subliminal message like, yeah, we run this, y'all just stop in here. Yeah, you ain't nothing, you just, you know, a convict. You ain't, you know, they talking to you crazy. All right, hurry up, let's go. Move, we got bang on it. Come on up out there, somebody else got to you know, oh man, it's, woo. I'm telling you, man, it get me down, man. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? I can feel it, you know what I'm saying? I can feel, you know, the hatred that they had for us. You know what I'm saying? That you know, for what? You know what I'm saying? You here for a job. We ain't nobody did nothing to you personally. Why the hatred? You know, why the venom in your voice? You know what I'm saying? It's because of the way they looked at us. It's like we slaves, like we just property, like we just not even human beings. You know what I'm saying? You get that feeling that comes off of them. It's in their words, it's in their tone, it's in their look. You know what I'm saying? It's in the air. And that's why I hated getting transferred, man. I hated being in those positions. Not only that, the violation. Besides everything else that I already told you about how the process go, how they gonna, strip you, how they gonna clothe you, how they gonna have you waiting, how they gonna feed you this garbage, how they, doing all this. Also, too, they going through all of your property. You know what I'm saying? They just invading all, like you have nothing this yours. They gonna go through all your pictures. They going through all your food, all your cosmetics. They looking at your letters. They going through all your personal items that you have. Everything that you have is gonna be violated. And then that's so crazy. They doing that before it leaves off the institution. Then when you get where you're going, when you do finally get in there, they're gonna do it again. And they're gonna take some stuff that they done already allowed you to purchase. They done already allowed you to buy these things, and now they're gonna take them from you. You know what I'm saying? Because they said, well, we don't accept this on the institution. Well, I'm in the DOC, the Department of Corrections. The VA DOC, Virginia DOC, all of y'all is under the same sanctions. Why each different prison got different rules? You know what I'm saying? How can this prison sell me this, and then I get here and y'all say it's illegal? And y'all all up under the same umbrella. Man, it's a game, it's a business, and it's just a horrible situation to be in, man. I'm telling you, man. You have to really dig deep to stay focused, to stay, motivated. You have to want to live, man. You have to want to live, because these people gonna give you every reason humanly possible not to want to live life no more. Trust and believe that. You gotta wanna live, man, because life is gonna be so horrible, man, and such you're gonna go through so many things, man, that you just didn't even, probably before you got locked up, that you didn't even think was humanly possible. You know what I'm saying? But now you see it and you in it, and a lot of times it's just overwhelming, man. It's overwhelming to the point where you know what I'm saying, you just feel like you hopeless. You know what I'm saying? You hopeless. This is it. This is what my life is. This is how I'm gonna be doing. Be getting chained up and be moved from here to there to everywhere. Being talked to however they want to talk to me. Treated however they want to treat me. And they want to sit down and just have a whole conversation. They can tell me sit over here, and I'm just sitting here in chains and handcuffs, wrists hurting, ankles hurting, everything hurting. Got to use the bathroom, hungry and everything. And they want to sit over here and talk about, what was on TV last night, or what you doing tonight, or where you going, and you just sitting there and you can't do nothing. You can't do anything because you don't exist. You don't exist. You're not a human being. You're not a real person. It don't matter. You understand me? And they can do whatever they want to do to you if you protest, because you're already chained up, and they will do whatever they want to do to you, and they're justified. You understand me? So it's just it's a humbling situation, man. It lets you know how far you have fallen from life, man. From life, just being in these situations. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, you gotta look at it, and you see movies, and you see stuff like Django, and you see stuff like Roots, and you see how they, was treating slaves back in them days, man. And you say to yourself, man, this is synonymous, man. It's synonymous with that. It is. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, because what you don't do that they tell you to do, they're going to enforce it on you physically. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't nothing you can do about it. Where can you go? There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. This is what they do. And when you come to that realization, man, that's when, the depression might set in. That's when you might be just overwhelmed with it and you can't see, especially if you got a whole lot of time to do. You know what I'm saying? You going through this and you experiencing this early in your bit, and you looking at your sentence, I got 40 years of this. How? How? You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to ask yourself. How? I barely can get through this. How? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's just, it was one of my worst things, and unfortunately, I got transferred many times, man. Double-digit numbers, at least 14, 15, 16 times. You know what I'm saying? That I had to go through this process. And some of them was worse than others. Some of them was, just bad, period. But I had some where I done got in confrontations with officers on other spots at layover stops and stuff. I remember this female major one time. She was white and racist, and just the way she looked at me. Then I had a hat on. I had a scully on, you know, and you can wear it. It's cold or whatever. You get scully on. She gonna take my scully off of my head before I went in the porta potty to use the bathroom. I mean, what can I do? I got shackles on, I got handcuffs on, and I'm chaining my waist. Don't forget, man, you gotta use the bathroom like that too. They ain't taking it loose. You gotta use the bathroom like that, right? So, and you got on a jumpsuit. So you gotta manipulate getting the jumpsuit down, which all of that, man. And she gonna see me going in and she gonna reach over and touch me and take my skirt. And I'm looking, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, you can't have the hat on going there. I don't know what you got in the hat. I'm gonna feel the hat, see it. And then she gonna feel on the hat and then try to put the hat back on my head and just set it on there. Man, I was so bored. I said, man, don't put your hands on me. And then she gonna get bold. What you mean don't put my hand? You know who I am? You see, like she got the little major. I said, I don't care who you is. Don't put your hands on me. What's your name? What, man, listen, man, don't put your hands on me. You know, so then the other officers, them coming over there, and that's getting ready to be a whole situation because they thinking that they can treat you how they want to treat you and do what they want. And you can say what you want, but don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? So she was all irate and all. Y'all can take him on over there. Take him out as if they weren't even going to let me use the bathroom now. You did? And then the dude that's on the bus, this transfer, she said, man, you know, that's the major. I'm like, man, I wouldn't care who she was. I'm me. You not going to touch me just because you feel like you can. No, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not, man. But these are the things, man. And that could be an easy trick up. You know what I'm saying? That could be an easy trick up because they going to do all they can do to try to impress her because she the major. So they might want to jump on me, tackle me, do all of this just because. Yeah, you know, because that's how they going to, that's the pressure that they're going to put on you. You know what I'm saying? That's the pressure that they're going to put on you. But, you know, and I've seen things on these. I told you I seen when the dude got killed. You know, on my way to Wallace Ridge. I looked out the window, man, and see this man laying on the pavement when they doing fake CPR on him, already knowing, clearly can see that the man is dead. You know what I'm saying? That's because y'all neglected him all this time on this bus for this 12, 13, 14, whatever it was, hour ride, when the man is already, has lost circulation in his body because y'all done beat him up and put him on the bus and cuffed him up so tight around his ankles and around his wrist that he ain't got no circulation. And he died. You know, and I'm quite sure all 100% they covered that up and tricked that up. That kept us there at that layover for multiple hours. Why they getting their lives straight, why they getting their stories straight, why they got state troopers out here, why they got the real EMT people out here, all this fire department and everybody, man, laid on the cold concrete. 20-some years old. Dead, life gone, lost. See what I'm saying? And I know his family ain't get the right story. You dig? I know they did. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter to them. Only thing that mattered to them was to have their story straight. You know what I'm saying? Have their story straight of how this, so everybody can cover everybody's back. You know what I'm saying? And why people being treated like, you know, straight animals. You know, animals. Yeah. And what they gonna call you? Animal. Why you think? Why you think? You know, so yeah, man, I've seen it, man. I've seen them beat people up and put them on the bus. I told you they'll drug you up, put you on the bus. You know, you going on that bus when they say you getting transferred one way or another, even if they have to take you, like I told you they had to do JB. But you going on there, either alive or dead, or either conscious or unconscious, but always in chains. Always in chains, man, like a slave. Like a slave, man. Chains and shackles. Like a slave, dog. Yeah, man, that's one of the things that the many things I hated about, you know, prison, but definitely at high on my list, man, just because of all the implications of it was like you felt like a slave. You know what I'm saying? You felt like a slave. And you looking around and you thinking in these scenes popping in your head and seeing these slaves on the boat. Only difference is we on a bus. Seeing how they was being treated, that's how we being treated. Seeing how they was being fed, that's how we being fed. Seeing how they was being disregarded and disrespected and overlooked, and that's how we was. And every time it's like that. Every time. And the crazy part about it is sometimes you just look up and you see the people who's enforcing these rules and they look just like you. And, you know what I'm saying? And they look just like you. And they just doing it for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? For some money. You know, and they'll take your life for that money. And you will have done absolutely, positively nothing to them personally. Not a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't even know what type of mindset you got to have to do that. Because they'll say to you, or to the masses, that people that go out here to commit these crimes and do this and do that, their first thing they'll say is they did that, them people ain't do nothing to nobody. You know, you go rob somebody or you go do this and somebody get hurt. They ain't do nothing to nobody to deserve that. They ain't do nothing to you and you don't know them and you just, and it's true. But it's also true the same way. What about the person that'll shoot you from climbing over the fence for a paycheck? What are you doing? You trying to get your freedom. Did you do anything to him? The one in the gun tower, for him to take your life? No. He doing it for a job, a paycheck. When they run in that cell and beat you with billy clubs or shock you with a shock shield or sick the dog on you, it's all for a paycheck. You ain't do nothing to him, nothing to his family, and nothing to personally to him at all. But they're going to do it to you. What's the difference? I don't know. I'm speaking just from my logic. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So if you have the capacity to do that, you know what I'm saying, to somebody for a monetary value, what is the difference in somebody out there going and doing what they doing? Wrong it is, without a shadow of a doubt, but to try to obtain some money. You know? These questions that ain't nobody gonna ask though. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna put that. It's just like when you see a police, right? In my opinion, this is me. Y'all don't have to agree with me, and I respect that. Everybody's opinion I respect, but this is my opinion. You're not gonna tell me that I see a police, which I've seen many, many times on different shows, cops or whatever. And you see a male police brutally beat a woman or slam her down and put his elbow all in her neck and knee in her chest and stuff. I've seen it several times. 60, 70, 80-year-old women, you know what I'm saying, do that to a woman. And you tell me he won't hit a woman in his real life? He won't hit his wife? He won't beat a woman? How can you do that for a paycheck and say you won't do that? That you don't stand for that? You have no cutoff. You got no morals, no principles. If you could beat a woman up for a paycheck, you could beat a woman up because she make you mad. And that's in my opinion. You know, y'all can feel different if you want to, but that's in my opinion. How can you just do it? What? You enforcing somebody else's rules and regulations for a paycheck, and this woman ain't did nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? But you'll rough her up and you'll do this, but you say you don't hit women. You have hit women. You have been displayed as hitting women. You know what I'm saying? It's on camera. Oh, that was for my job. You know what I'm saying? Man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just I got to get off of this video because honestly I'm getting frustrated because I'm telling you, man, it's just the hypocrisy in the whole system, man, and the way it is and the way, you know, people, you know, get caught up, man. This is why I preach so much, man. For you young kings and queens, man, do not fall for this, man. Please do not fall for this to get yourself in a position where you are tricked out of this life out here, man. That is supposed to be freedom. Into that, my dude. My queens, my king. Don't do it, man. I'm telling you, it is horrible. You understand me? And you do not want no parts of it, man. So just be mindful, man. Be mindful no matter how hard it is out here, no matter how rough it gets sometimes. Just be mindful. There's something worse waiting for you. it's something worse waiting for you, man. And they welcome you there. They want you there. Because that's how they eat. They make their living off of your misery, off of your pain, off of your mistakes. People make their living off. That is their livelihood. So be mindful of that, man, as you move out here in this free world. Man, y'all talk to me in the comments. Y'all probably gonna have something to say, you know, and I respect that, and you know, just be respectful. But talk to me, man. But like I say, man, it's a blessing in every lesson, man. And the blessing is, man, if you do have to endure something like this, if you do have to go through these type of times, man, you know, and you are fortunate enough and blessed enough to survive, man, be a voice to warn others, to educate others. You know what I'm saying? So won't nobody else have to do it. Even if you can make one person change their course from not having to go through it, man, you've done some community service, man. You know, so you know that's a blessing, man. If you can survive it, you're blessed, man. Believe it. Because a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't. But anyway, man, y'all talk to me in the comments. I talk back. Sorry if I was rambling. Sorry if I got caught up. But I am who I am, and I gotta speak it how I feel it and how it comes out, man. I don't practice these videos before I do them. I just get on here and say what it is, you know. So salute TBP Nation, stand up, man. We out here, man. We gonna keep on rolling, man. Can't stop, won't stop, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions, man. And boom, 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 boom. Duck them hooks, man. Duck them penitentiaries, man. They treating us like slaves. Bam.
The banking special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm going to have something because I'm rich in personality. You know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.